Okay, you guys, hello. Take back your plate. Welcome. So these calls will happen every Thursday night. We're going to start them at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So 8 o'clock for you Central, 9 o'clock for you Eastern Coasters, and then Pacific Time, which is always the hardest for me to like go back. So 6 o'clock for you guys. So put this in your calendars. You can save the link to this Zoom chat. It's in the announcement section of the page as well. So just put that in so that you have that ready available. You know, plan to spend this time with us because it's going to be so much fun to talk about what we're doing, what's going well, where you're struggling. Like this is a time where we can all get together and support each other. So this is not just our group as coaches, this is your group too. So we want you on here. And we're going to do a little training topic for you every Thursday night as well. It's been just a couple minutes talking about something that's probably really on your mind tonight, cravings, right? So if you have some topics or questions, you make sure to get those to us or to post them in the group because that will really help us to understand like what you need and what you're looking for as well. All right, so let's talk about cravings because that's a hard one, right? Like whether it be for emotional reasons that we have cravings or just, you know, things come up that you're like, I want that right now, but it's not the eating opportunity that you want to take. There's some great ways to really help yourself through this process, right? And as we learn the 2B mindset. And you guys, I want you to remember that. Like this is, I want you to be open to knowing that this is a learning experience, right? So as we go through this, especially like this first month, like you are going to have learning experiences, things that'll go really well, things that won't go really well, and just allow that to be part of this story for you instead of looking through those typical lenses of passing, failing, good, bad, right? Like it's really important that you give yourself this opportunity to have what looks, you know, to what works and what doesn't work. Okay. So, but take out pen and paper. You can even write this maybe in some sections in your log if you want to have these, because these are going to be some really good tips to help you to start thinking about some things to do as you have cravings, right? So number one, when you have cravings, your body is not craving those things. It's your mind. Your mind is, right? Your body is not craving. Your mind is. I think that's a really powerful thought just to tell yourself, first of all, because your mind is what controls what your body wants. So as you have a craving in your mind, really start to think about why that's happening, right? And write down those feelings, those emotions, you know, what's going on, maybe what situation you're in, to take stock of that, to really understand that if it's happening in your mind, you can change it. Right? You are in control and you can change those things. So recognizing that with cravings that, right, like you can put two hands on that wheel and you're in control will give you the ability to be able to work with your cravings better. So that's number one point that I wanted to make. Number two, make it your goal to turn those cravings into something purposeful, right? So a lot of times we have those cravings like, I don't know, you guys maybe share. Melissa, what's something that you crave? Jen, something you crave? Julie, if you're with us, I know you're running around a little bit, but what's something that comes up for you?
I crave carbs. Like I crave pasta. That's my jam. Like I could eat a whole macaroni thing, like a whole box of it, just in one sitting if I wanted. Yeah, so I crave that usually when I'm like feeling stressed or like just kind of like bored, bored or tired.
Bored too. Yep. Jen, what about you?
Mine is chocolate or that sweet and salty combination when I'm tired or overwhelmed or avoiding something I really should be doing. It's just like, I don't know, it's mindless. It's to occupy my mouth, I think, you know, more than anything.
Yeah. Probably my worst time for cravings is definitely late at night, you know, especially if I know I need to like work or I have something to do, just that anxiousness and that wanting to procrastinate, probably those things that end up being late at night, you know, you just want to try to like fill my hands and fill my time and say, oh, I got to eat, you know, and have something. So a lot of times it doesn't even matter what that is, you know, but even so overeating healthy things sometimes at those nights too. So what we can do is take those things that we love, right? And again, it's not cheating, right, to have these, but it's really something where you want to make it more purposeful. That's really what the 2B mindset is all about, is helping us to make that food purposeful. So let me give you some examples and some things that you can do to turn some of those cravings around to something more purposeful that still tastes delicious and is good, right? So if you're taking notes, I want you to write down, like, what is those cravings for you? Because I'm going to have you go back after we talk about some things and see how you can make those cravings a little bit more purposeful, right? So a couple of good ideas, like teas are really good, right? It's something that can occupy your mouth and give you something delicious. You guys, so I went out, I'm going to post in the group, like I went out and went tea crazy because I'm like, okay, this is something that's going to work for me at night, right? So, I mean, I bought a chocolate, I bought some with more like vanilla and more spices, you know, so they could be a little bit more luxurious, right? I love like lemon and stuff like that, so I bought a little bit more citrusy one. So like, dude, if you need to try tea, now you should just come to my house because I'm overstocked on that stuff, because I'm just like, that is something I never thought about doing for my cravings, right? I never thought about as a treat, but I'm like, how great is that? And it can be very purposeful, right? You're getting more water. You can add like a splash of almond milk or heavy cream or something, or a little bit of honey, and make it really indulgent and good for you, right? So teas, I think that's a really good one. When we did our, I think it was when we were doing the pre-group, I posted a video that Alana had shared called Wonder Whips. So, and that could be a really great craving. So basically, if you don't remember that video, we'll post it again, I'm sure, in this group, but just Google Alana Molstead Wonder Whips and you'll pull up a YouTube video for that. But she takes Greek yogurt and makes it indulgent, right? So kind of fulfills any of those cravings like ice cream or pudding or just something treat-like. So you can whip with that. My favorite's peanut butter and topping that with a little bit of honey. So I love that. It's great by itself. You can use it as a dip for vegetables or fruit. You know, you could add like little cocoa powder or cocoa nibs or dark chocolate chips. Like Lily's brand is a really good one. You could add some dried nuts or fruits. Like you can just kind of make it however you want to, but kind of create that dessert, and it just feels like you're eating that ice cream bowl or something like that. So Wonder Whips, that could be a really, really good one to do. And I know in that video she has a couple of different ways that she shows you to make that. Shakeology. You guys, your Shakeology can be your treat, right? It can really be something that you look forward to as an indulgence for the day, and I really love to do that. I posted the other day that Goo Goo Cluster ice cream that my brother-in-law so lovingly left at our house after Mother's Day, and I was like, I'm not going to eat that today, but I want ice cream. So I just made my Shakeology thick. I just used half the liquid I usually would and put a lot more ice. And I made that thick just like ice cream, and I sprinkled some crushed cashews on top of my chocolate ice cream, and it was amazing, right? And it was like, I got 4 times as much for less calories and way more, you know, nutritional benefit. It was purposeful, but it was amazing, and it was delicious and very full and satisfying. So, you know, experiment with your Shakeology and using it different ways. Ice cream, or you can make it into puddings. Again, you can whip it into some Greek yogurt or something like that. Popsicles, my kids love in the summer, Shakeology popsicles. So just experiment and have fun with that. There's a lot of recipes on Shakeology.com, or go to Pinterest for a lot of inspiration, but so super fun ways that you can really make and spice up your Shakeology to be an indulgent treat for yourself. Beach bars, right? If you're a candy bar craver, or like Jen said, that salty sweet combination, beach bars can be a really great alternative. I love the chocolate peanut butter one for just that reason, right? It's salty, it's sweet, it tastes really like a candy bar. A lot of the protein bars that I've tried or have used in the past, they're like that compacted you know, blob of, you know, protein, and, you know, they don't necessarily taste really great, but you're like, okay, well, this is protein, it's good for me. No more. You are eating candy bars now, from now on, in your beach bars. Like, they are just a really great alternative. A lot lower sugar, higher fiber, really good source of protein. So if you are like a candy bar craver, try one of those, the chocolate peanut butter or the chocolate cherry almond. They're both really, really good and good for you. You can feel good about that, good at giving it to your kids. I don't eat a lot of bars, but I've really appreciated just having them in my car, like in the glove box, put a couple there so that if we get in a pinch or we're out of the house a lot longer, you know, or one of those cravings come up, you can definitely, you can take care of that. And then Jen, tell us a little bit, so because you're somebody who's used like some different things for like water enhancers and things like that, what things have worked for you to kind of resolve that like soda cravings or just needing some flavor? What things work for you?
Right. So I like LaCroix sparkling water, and my favorite flavor is the coconut. It's a little bit sweet, but you get the carbonation like a soda. But what I'm really liking these days are, it's called Stur, S-T-U-R, liquid water enhancers, and it's like the Mio drops, except it's all natural. It's a stevia sweetener, and I just bought a variety pack from Amazon that had like 5 different flavors. So I find that like in the afternoon, I hit that like mid-afternoon crash, or on the drive home from work. I have an hour, 55-hour-long drive home from work, and that drive is it's a trigger for me to want to do this because I'm tired and I'm bored and I don't want to be in the car. So I'm finding that if I try to hit most of my water goal before I leave work, then I can treat myself with that enhanced flavored water, and it kind of cuts that craving for me into the evening until after dinner time. So I haven't had one of those flavors yet that I haven't really liked, and I've also used a couple of them in my vanilla Shakeology if I'm craving something sweet too, just to give it a little more flavor and a little more kick.
Nice.
So those are my go-tos.
Good, great idea. And even like oils, essential oils can be really great, you know, to add into that too, like lemon or lime. Orange is one I've seen a lot of people add to their Shakeologies. Grapefruit is one of my favorites, you know, so there's a lot of different things you can experiment in, but I think that's good. So that was Stur, S-T-U-R, if you want to try that, as far as a good water enhancer too. So good ideas, Jen. Okay, so now let's move on to point number 3. So we talked about, you know, your cravings are not, your body's not craving it, your mind is. And to take those cravings that you have and make it a goal to make that purposeful, right? Make those cravings into something more purposeful that treats you and is great for you, but serves a purpose in your diet. So number 3, this is a big one, you guys. This works a lot. Out of sight, out of mind, right? So if it's something that is hard for you, just get it out of your sight, right? You know, because think about when you have a craving come up, ask yourself, why did I start craving that, right? Many, many times it's because you saw something or you saw that particular thing or something like that, and all of a sudden that craving came up, right? So you can control a lot of that just by keeping it out of sight. So some things I like to keep in my house, like chocolate chips. And it's funny, like when I get to like nothing and I'm like having this craving, I'm going and raiding the chocolate chips in the pantry. So I actually keep them like downstairs in my cold storage, like in a far dark corner, because they're so hard to get to there, right? It's not easy to going in the pantry. But, you know, it gives us an opportunity to have some of those things to build some of those treats that we like to have. But it also like does not create temptation for me every time I have to walk in my pantry, right? And same thing with your fridge. Like when you open the doors to your fridge, what do you see? You know, I am working to really change this because we keep usually the fruits and vegetables down in those hidden drawers, right? Where I really would love to visually create those wonderful vegetables and fruits that I'm putting in those snack packs or that I've got cut up and ready to eat, right at eye level, so that they're the first thing that I see when I open up that fridge, not the yogurts or, you know, the milk or, you know, some of those things that are nice to have, but not as good to have always as having more veggies and things like that. So, you know, create that visualization for yourself by putting those things that you do want to eat more at eye level, putting those other things away, and, you know, just getting rid of some of that stuff. Like ice cream is something I do not really keep at my house anymore. So if we have a party or something where we need or want the ice cream, like I'll buy it that day or, you know, just a couple days for that specific event, but don't buy extra, you know, to keep around my house, because that's something that is a huge trigger for me and I don't do well with, you know. So I love the idea of treating myself to it or going out for it, but not having to have a whole tub of ice cream all the time at my house, right? So put yourself in a position where you can be successful with that, right? So if you love to have chocolate, maybe you buy an individual serving of that, you know? So it's a smaller piece, not a full bag of Hershey Kisses, but maybe like a small snack pack that you can get at the register or something, you know, so you enjoy a little bit, but you don't have to worry about eating that whole bag, you know, of something that you don't want. You know, nuts or trail mix. Sometimes like that's an easy one to go overboard with and stuff too. Like you just grab out of the bag, anything that you can grab out of the bag. If you can buy those in like those individual portions or sleeves, you know, it will just help you to stay in control and with those two hands on the wheel like you want to be all the time. So out of sight, out of mind. That might mean out of your house. It might mean away. It might mean you don't have it at all. Like really use your best judgment and what you feel good about to be able to have those things. Okay. And then the last thing that I wanted to teach you about cravings is to ask yourself the question, is this hunger or is it habit, right? Is it hunger or is it habit? And I'll tell you, like, when I worked outside the home and I would come home after a 10-hour day and then my kids wanted all my attention and time and I put my best into all of that for the few hours that we had before bedtime, it was a badge of honor to make it through that day, right? Like that was momhood. And I'm like, yes, a victory today. So I would head right to my kitchen and I would celebrate my victory with a big ice cream sundae, right? And not just a scoop of ice cream, but I would melt some peanut butter and pour on top, maybe a few chocolate chips, maybe sometimes I'd put some strawberry jam in it, you know, different things. So it made it like 1,000 calories of ice cream before I went to bed every night. And it was not healthy. I woke up with headaches and feeling terrible every day. So, you know, I started to realize when I started to change that habit or working to change that habit that a lot of times I didn't even feel like eating ice cream. It had just become a habit for me to put the kids to bed and go right to the kitchen and get something to eat for myself. So I really started to try to develop another habit. So I never go into the kitchen after I put my kids to bed. It's never the first place that I go anymore. So I'll go into my room and get myself ready for bed, or you know, I'll go downstairs and spend a few minutes talking to my husband, or I'll go pick up a book, you know, something that's just for me that is recreating something that gives me back to myself, because that's what that ice cream was, right? It was like me finally taking some time for me, but doing something that's a little bit better and more serving and actually purposeful, that actually helps me to feel good that at that time as well as in the morning too. So always ask yourself that question, like, is it hunger or is it habit? And be open and realize that, you know, it will take some time to figure it out, but you can put other things, you can choose other rewards for yourself, other things that help you to feel good, to feel beautiful, to feel taken care of, that don't have to be food. So write what some of those things are. You know, maybe it's a call to a girlfriend, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's taking a bath. You know, develop some of those self-care rituals that help you to take care of you and feel good about you, but don't have to reflect around food. And that's not just for like, you know, nighttime, but, you know, think about times when you get stressed or you are bored. You know, for me, when I'm bored at night, you know, it's much better for me to get up 15 minutes earlier and do what that thing was earlier in the morning and just get the extra rest, right? Because I end up going to bed and it gets done a lot quicker if I'm fresh and ready to go in the morning and I can focus on that. I don't focus on other things. So, you know, recognize how you can arrange your schedule, how you can deal with stress, anxiety, boredom, in some healthier ways that actually make you feel good and accomplished in the things that you're doing. So, Jen, Melissa, do you have anything else to add?
I just add, something that's been working for me, because mine is the after dinner time, like kind of the same thing. The kids are finally settled and And I've just been asking myself, are you hungry enough to eat a vegetable? And 9 times out of 10, and I don't want a vegetable, and I just remove myself from the kitchen and go do something else. And that's been working really well for me the last few days.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah, I think for me, tracking, keeping things, eating more during the day, so I'm not as tempted to get in like the rest of my food I know I need to get in at the end of the day, so then I can really shut down the kitchen earlier. Because I think what I was doing is getting so busy doing tasks or household things or dealing with the kids that I wasn't really taking care of my needs. So just checking in and like more often with myself, like, have you eaten lately? What's going, kind of like checking in every couple hours, so I'm not tempted to just like eat tons at one time at night. That's what I had been doing.
Yeah.
And it does free up your time to do other things that are more rewarding, like you said, checking in with your husband, or like reading a book, or doing something relaxing, because you have that new time has opened up now after the kids are in bed to do something for yourself. It doesn't involve just eating, because eating just comes and goes. It's for fuel, but it's not supposed to satisfy your emotional needs. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, think about it too. Like if there's a time where you like have just consumed something and you're like, I don't even know what I just ate, or
Yeah.
I don't even know how I felt, or it didn't even taste good. I'm like, those are times where I know that's not food that's serving me, and to try to really work to find something else. And it's tough, you guys. This isn't something that you just tell yourself and those things go away, right? But this gives us the power to be able to, make them purposeful. That's like the biggest word I could probably say, like that just really can make an impact is food is purposeful. Make your food purposeful and it will be delicious. It'll taste delicious. It'll feel delicious to you, and it'll serve you in your weight loss goals, no matter where you are or what you're doing with that too. So,
well, and what I was going to say too is I think that this is opportunity for us to really like learn more about ourselves and what does feel good, because we get so used to using food to solve problems, and then we start thinking, okay, what do I even like? You get to know yourself more again. And like for me, like the oils, like I'll turn on like some special oils when the kids go to bed, or light a candle, or put music on, or something that I normally wouldn't have thought to do because I would have been in the kitchen, like, raiding the pantry. So there's just little things we learn, or have some personal development, to just read or whatever. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. We'll open it up just for a minute as far as questions, things that you guys want to talk about. How are things going? Are you guys feeling good with the plan? Good with using that tracker every day? How are you feeling a couple days in?
Gets around almost to the end, and my man cop reached out to grab him.
Okay, good. Well, I hope that's something you guys will, get comfortable in sharing. Like, this is here for you. Again, as I said, this is our space to like come together and celebrate successes and to talk about what's working. I love in the group when you guys are sharing like pictures of your food under the daily posts and things like that. Like, keep doing that, because like it helps us all to have ideas to see what someone's eating, or maybe you try one of the recipes in the book, so give a little review. Did you like it? Was it a hit with the family? Was it not so much? How would you make it a little bit different? So it gives us the opportunity to all learn from each other. So, and it'll be a lot of fun to be in this little success family with our bunnies that we have. So, but thanks for jumping on, you guys. And we will see you back here next week, and we'll see you in the group.
Okay. Have a good night.